everybody, my name is Deja and welcome back to my channel. Today I have another announcement video and this one is for the Tarot Readathon. You guys don't understand how excited I am for this readathon. I've always been interested in tarot and witchier things, but I recently, in the past couple months, have really started to get into it, so I'm really excited to be able to share that love with you guys in the form of a readathon. So this readathon is taking place from July 10th, which is the date of the new moon, to July 24th, which is the date of the full moon, and I'm hosting this with Noelle from Noelle 7 Pages, Jess from Books Past Bedtime, and Brittany from Literarily Smitten. So obviously this readathon is tarot themed, and if you don't know what tarot is, it's just cards. People often use them for divination or advice or things like that, but for some people they're just fun, and for this readathon you don't have to know anything about tarot. We're just using the cards' meanings to help pick our TBRs. So if you have a tarot deck, you can use it specifically like I do. I have 3 decks, but this one's my favorite, and so you can use an actual tarot deck to pick your TBR, or you can use a random tarot generator. There's a ton free online and we'll have one linked below, and there's a whole Google document that I will also have linked down below that has all of this information in case you need to read it to better understand the readathon. So yes, we're using tarot whether you choose to go down the physical tarot deck route or if you choose to go down a online generator route, and so you're just using them to pick your TBR. So we have a set of prompts for every single card in the deck, so any card that you pull, there will be a prompt for it and you have to match a book to it. So you can pull all of your cards before the readathon and that's how you do your TBR, or if you want, you can pull one at the beginning of the readathon, read that book, once you finish with that, pull another card, etc, etc. Or if you want to pick a certain amount of books before the readathon and then you know that you're going to finish them, you can add on more as you're going through the readathon. You can do it however you want to, so before the readathon, during the readathon, a combination of both. We just want you to be able to pick your TBR using cards. Generally the rule is that there's no doubling up, so one card is one prompt, which is one book, but there is a little bit of leeway in this for some people that I will talk about later. For this readathon there's also going to be teams, which is the really fun part. We have a whole Discord that's been popping off because this video is extremely late. I know my footage got corrupted, I was graduating, it was a lot. Okay, this video is very much late compared to the other hosts, but the Discord has been popping off and that's where we're going to have team chats and be able to add people to the teams, and each team is going to get points. Before I go over what each team is, I'm going to go over what the points are and the trophies that we're going to be giving out. So if you don't know, in a tarot deck there is the major arcana and the minor arcana. The major arcana are cards like the moon, the sun, temperance, justice, death, the tower, things like that, while the minor arcana is the actual suits, so cups, swords, wands, and pentacles, and then for each of those suits there's ace through the king. So there is the ace of cups, the 10 of pentacles, the page of swords, etc, etc. And so we made 2 trophies based off the major and minor arcana, basically that are motivating the teams to get points. And we have a Google form where you can submit your points for your team, and that's how we'll be counting them. But the major arcana trophy is basically each card in the deck has a number. So you can see at the top of this card there's a little number, and this is 5. This is 5 of pentacles, but every single card including the major arcana have numbers, and that will also be linked in the Google Doc. Basically for the major arcana trophy, how it's going to work is that for every book read, obviously there's the corresponding card with the prompt, and we're just going to add up the numbers that are on the cards for that prompt. So one person on the team may read a book that corresponds to the lover's card, which is 6. So then that team would get 6 points. Basically every book that you complete is going to have a certain number of points assigned to it depending on what card you pulled to get that book. And the minor arcana trophy is basically just based off page number. So each team is going to get a point for every page read. If you read a 400-page book, your team will get 400 points. Again, there's a little bit of leeway in this for some certain teams, which I'm going to get into now. I wanted to explain the trophies so you could fully understand the pros and cons for each team. So a common thing in tarot readings as well is if a card is going to be reversed or not. Some people use reversals, other people don't. Generally, the reverse is the opposite meaning of the upright. So to kind of play into this a little bit, we gave each team an upright and a reverse, which is a pro and a con for each team to help and also hinder the teams. And each team is based off the suits that I went over before: cups, wands, swords, and pentacles. And you can choose your team however you want. If you just resonate with that team the most, if you like that team leader the most, or if you just want to do it randomly, just take a deck or your random tarot generator and pull the first card. This is 4 of cups, so you could be on the cups team, something like that. Just choose your team however you would like. And you can also choose it based off the upright and reversed. So I'm hosting the Cups team, which I'm really excited about. Cups represents water, emotions, intuition, creativity. So our upright is that we can modify one of the prompts. So if you pull a card and you're like, I don't like this prompt, you can change it, and you can change it to basically anything that still has to do with the card. So it could literally be based off the colors. It could just be based off the imagery, based off basically anything, as long as it still has some sort of connection to the card. And another example is if you pull the star, you can read a book with stars on the cover and the title. Our reversed, on the other hand, is that once you set a book for a prompt, you can't change it. If you decide to DNF a book, then you can't put a new book for that prompt. You would have to choose a new card and set a new book for that prompt. Once you say that this is my book for this prompt, you can't add another book to that prompt. But you can definitely pull more cards and get more prompts. But again, once you say, this is the book I'm going to read for this, if you don't like it, or if you want to change it, or any other reason, you can't swap out any books. The next team is the Wands team, which is being hosted by Jess. This team represents fire, passion, warmth, ambition, success. So this team's upright is that you can include books in your TBR that you already started prior to the readathon, up to 50%. So if you are 20% into a book, you are allowed to include that in your TBR. As long as it's less than 50% before the readathon, you can include it. But the reverse for this team is that you can do that once and count all of the pages in the book. So if you have a 300-page book, but you only read 200 of it during the readathon, you can still count it for 300 pages. But if you do it more than once, you only count the pages that you read during the readathon. So again, if you read another book after that first one, if you only read 300 pages of a 500-page book, you can only count those 300 pages towards the Minor Arcana trophy. The next team is the Swords team, which is being hosted by Brittany. This team is often represented by air, logic, intellect, and decisiveness. The upright for this team is that they can double up for one book. So you can only do it once, but you can use one book to fulfill 2 prompts, and it will count for double pages. So if you use a 400-page book for 2 prompts, you will get 800 pages towards the Minor Arcana trophy. And the reverse for this team is, since they are so decisive and they like to make their decisions, they have to randomly have a book chosen for them. So whether it's they do a random number generator or put a poll up on Instagram, have a friend choose it for you, etc., etc., just at least one of the books needs to be chosen randomly. The last team is the Pentacles team, which is hosted by Noelle. This team is often represented by air, nature, growth, wealth, and peace. For this team, any book that's more than 400 pages will get an extra 100 points towards the Minor Arcana trophy and an extra 2 points towards the Major Arcana trophy. So if you read a book that's 500 pages, you will get 600 points for the Minor Arcana trophy, and depending on your card, if you choose a card, let's just say you chose the 8 of Wands, then you would get 10 points towards the Major Arcana trophy. But the reverse for this team is that all books read during the readathon have to be books that you already own, or they could be a part of your library, but you cannot buy new books for this readathon. You have to already own them, or they have to come again from your library, or you borrowing them from somebody. I really hope that you guys participate. I know this is a lot and it can be a little confusing and overwhelming because there's a lot going on, but that's why we have the document listed below, and we have the Discord to make sure everybody can fully understand the readathon, and we will answer questions on the Discord, anything like that. So I really hope you guys participate, and if you do participate, join Team Cups, please and thanks, because we are the best team. But that's all that I have for this video. Again, I know it was a lot, but I really hope you guys participate because I'm super excited for it. That's all that I have for this video today, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, everybody. You always posting up pictures, trying to look like you winning. I'm writing rhymes in the kitchen, soaking in moments we live in, yeah. You got the nerve to be on me, faking your life for the IG.